The 1980s crackled with Walkman static and neon glow. A decade when music videos ruled the living room and lyrics sparked arguments at the dinner table. Parents worried, politicians pointed fingers, broadcasters reached for the mute button. Yet controversy only seemed to make certain records spin faster. These songs were challenged, censored, or yanked from playlists, then passed around like contraband. So today, we're looking back at the 13 most controversial banned songs of the 1980s. Number 13. Sex Crime, 1984, by Eurythmics. Released in 1984, this chilling synth track drew its name and tone from George Orwell's dystopia. But many misread it. The word sex crime alone was enough for broadcasters to recoil, confusing artful satire with moral provocation. Written for the film 1984, the song turned totalitarian dread into pop electronics. Annie Lennox's vocals sounded detached yet human, echoing through Dave Stewart's mechanical synth layers. The tension between emotion and machinery defined its brilliance, though the title's bluntness made radio programmers nervous. In Orwell's world, sex crime meant love outlawed by authority, not vulgarity. Yet tabloid headlines ignored context and painted it as indecent. The BBC limited airplay, nervous about complaints. Ironically, that act of silencing mirrored the very censorship the song warned against. Today, Sex Crime, 1984, feels eerily prophetic. It proved that fear, not filth, drives most bands. The censors became part of the story, proof that even in pop music, rebellion sometimes begins with a single misunderstood word. Number 12. Money for Nothing by Dire Straits. In 1985, Dire Straits' tongue-in-cheek take on Rockstar XS hit MTV and controversy. One lyric's slur, meant as satire, sparked bans and censorship debates, proving irony doesn't always travel cleanly through corporate airwaves. Mark Knopfler wrote the song after overhearing two appliance store workers mocking the very stars they watched on MTV. He turned their words into lyrics, capturing envy and class frustration inside one of the most recognizable riffs of the decade. But what began as social commentary soon became a moral flashpoint. The offending line, voiced in character, was misunderstood as the band's own opinion. Canada's public broadcaster briefly banned it, while American stations debated edits. Knopfler defended the song as satire, a mirror held to society's casual prejudice, but the nuance drowned beneath headlines. Today, Money for Nothing endures as both a time capsule and a cautionary tale. Its humor, misread by some, revealed how quickly outrage can overshadow intent, proof that sometimes the sharpest social commentaries play in major key. Number 11. Sun City by Artists United Against Apartheid. When musicians joined forces to condemn apartheid, in 1985, they refused to play the South African resort Sun City. Some stations shied away from political anthems, but the beat carried the message further than speeches ever could. Stephen Van Zandt organized the project, pulling together Bruce Springsteen, Run DMC, Lou Reed, Miles Davis, and more. Voices rarely heard in unison. The song's chant, "I ain't gonna play Sun City," was simple, but seismic. It called out cultural complacency, while MTV cautiously rationed its airtime. Some governments saw it as activism, others saw provocation. South African broadcasters banned it, fearing its unity might inspire protest. Yet the track became an underground rallying cry, reminding listeners that rhythm could cross borders long before diplomacy did. Decades later, Sun City stands as proof of pop's moral weight. It wasn't about fame or charts, it was about conscience. In an age of slogans, this song turned melody into movement and proved that silence was the real betrayal. Number 10. Biko by Peter Gabriel. Inspired by South African activist Steve Biko, Gabriel's elegy arrived in 1980. Its mournful rhythm and political charge unsettled broadcasters. Banned in parts of Africa, it turned silence into resistance, and a drumbeat into remembrance. Gabriel first learned of Biko's death while reading a news clipping about apartheid's brutality. Moved by the story, he built the song around a slow, solemn rhythm and African percussion, creating a haunting call to justice. Its refrain, "The eyes of the world are watching now," lingered long after the final chord. Authorities quickly recognized its influence. South African stations banned it, fearing the name Biko itself would ignite unrest. But as copies circulated globally, the song became a hymn of solidarity, performed at rallies, vigils, and marches across continents. Biko remains one of Gabriel's defining works, a song that turned tragedy into testimony. Each beat still carries the weight of injustice and the power of remembrance, music that refuses to fade, even when silenced. Number 9. She Bop by Cyndi Lauper. A bright pop single hiding a taboo message, She Bop used humor and rhythm to wink at self-expression. But the PMRC and conservative radio found no joke in it, flagging it for indecency. Controversy only amplified its charm. Cyndi Lauper recorded the track in 1984 at the height of her fame, crafting a playful anthem about self-acceptance wrapped in cartoonish sound effects and sly laughter. Its candy-colored pop production disguised lyrics about pleasure and agency, challenging pop's unspoken rules with a grin. The song's coded message sparked outrage from moral watchdogs. The PMRC labeled it one of the "filthy 15," and some radio programmers cut it from rotation. Yet Lauper stood her ground, explaining it was about confidence, not corruption, and her fans understood perfectly. Well, She Bop became rebellion, disguised as bubblegum, proof that a woman could sing about joy on her own terms. In trying to silence it, critics only made it louder, a pastel-colored victory for freedom of expression. Number 8. Sugar Walls by Sheena Easton. Penned by Prince under a pseudonym, this sultry track dripped with innuendo. Religious groups decried it, some radio stations banned it, and it landed squarely on the PMRC's Filthy 15. Yet its allure proved impossible to silence. Released in 1984, Sugar Walls marked a bold reinvention for Sheena Easton, who had previously been known for polished pop ballads. Prince's production gave her a darker, more seductive sound, synths pulsing like heartbeat shadows behind her elegant vocals. The title's metaphor was obvious enough to raise eyebrows, but it was the confidence in Easton's delivery that truly scandalized critics. Several American stations refused to play it, and church groups cited it as proof that pop was corrupting youth. The backlash only made listeners curious. Decades later, Sugar Walls stands as a reminder of the tension between desire and decorum in pop music. What some called indecent was really independence, a moment when Sheena Easton, guided by Prince's fearless pen, claimed her artistic power in full view. Number 7. I Want Your Sex by George Michael. Released in 1987, this seductive anthem collided with conservative airwaves. Many networks banned it outright, mistaking its sensual tone for immorality, though its real message urged honesty and commitment in love. The irony was delicious. Written during the height of the AIDS crisis, George Michael's single dared to talk openly about intimacy at a time of fear and stigma. He intended it as a call for monogamy and trust, but its breathy vocals and bold title made broadcasters panic. MTV restricted the video to late-night hours, and BBC Radio refused to play it during the day. Yet the controversy only expanded its reach, transforming it from a bedroom confession into a statement about honesty in an age of repression. I Want Your Sex became a cultural paradox, banned for being too direct, celebrated for being too human. George Michael's courage lay not in provocation, but in clarity. He turned taboo into truth, and the world eventually caught up. Number 6. Darling Nikki by Prince. Prince's bold storytelling in Darling Nikki ignited the movement that birthed parental advisory labels. Banned by radio, condemned by committees, it became a cultural flashpoint, the song that made America debate where art ends and obscenity begins. Hidden deep within Purple Rain, Darling Nikki told a raw tale of desire and freedom, set to distorted guitars and a grinding beat. Prince didn't disguise his intent. He wanted to shock, seduce, and reveal the tension between morality and music. Its fearless honesty was both its crime and its genius. When Tipper Gore heard her daughter playing the track, she founded the Parents Music Resource Center, which demanded content warnings on albums. Suddenly, one song had reshaped an entire industry's relationship with expression. Prince himself remained silent, letting the noise speak for him. Today, Darling Nikki feels prophetic. It questioned who gets to define decency and who decides what the public can hear. By trying to censor Prince, the establishment only amplified his message. That desire, like art, was never meant to be contained. Number 5. Another Brick in the Wall, Part 2, by Pink Floyd. When schoolchildren sang, "We don't need no education," authorities panicked. Banned in South Africa for its anti-establishment tone, the track became a global hymn of resistance, proof that even rebellion can rhyme. Released in 1979, the song carried into the 80s like an anthem for disillusioned youth. Its children's chorus mocked rigid schooling and blind obedience, echoing frustrations shared across continents. Pink Floyd hadn't meant it as revolution, but the world was ready to hear it that way. In apartheid-era South Africa, students adopted the chant during protests. The government swiftly banned the song, fearing its message might ignite rebellion. Yet the ban only confirmed what Floyd's music implied, that true control begins with education and ends when people start asking questions. Another Brick in the Wall remains timeless because it struck at the core of conformity. Its rhythm was slow, deliberate, and unforgettable. A lesson in how even a rock opera could become a classroom for resistance. Number 4. Relax by Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Few songs have ever been banned at number 1. Relax was pulled from BBC airwaves mid-chart for its suggestive lyrics and video, yet the ban only supercharged its success, turning scandal into sensation. Produced by Trevor Horn, the song's pounding bass line and hypnotic energy defined the sound of 1984. Beneath its glossy surface, it celebrated freedom, sexual, personal, and cultural. But when BBC radio DJ Mike Redd refused to play it live on air, the track's fate was sealed. The BBC banned it outright, while newspapers printed lyrics in outrage. What they failed to grasp was that relax wasn't corruption, it was confidence. Clubgoers turned it into an anthem, and the ban became its best publicity. Decades later, Relax remains one of pop's great contradictions. Censored, yet celebrated. Explicit, yet empowering. It taught the 80s something vital, that the louder the establishment says, "Don't," the more the people will dance. Number 3. Like a Prayer by Madonna. Religion, race, and pop collided in Madonna's 1989 masterpiece. With burning crosses and gospel choirs, it provoked outrage and adoration in equal measure. Corporate sponsors fled, fans stayed. The church may have flinched, but pop ascended. Like a Prayer was more than a single. It was a statement. The video blurred lines between sacred and sensual, showing Madonna kissing a saint and dancing among flames. The symbolism was deliberate. Faith, desire, and redemption intertwined in the glow of stained glass and controversy. Pepsi pulled its commercial tie-in within 24 hours, bowing to global outrage. But as networks debated morality, fans understood the message that religion and love weren't opposites, but mirrors. Madonna stood firm, saying she'd rather lose sponsorships than silence her art. Decades later, Like a Prayer still towers as one of pop's boldest moments. It dared to turn the sacred into something human, the personal into the divine, and reminded the world that true devotion often begins with doubt. Number 2. Me So Horny by 2 Live Crew. This Miami bass explosion turned dance floors and courtrooms into battlegrounds. Critics called it obscene, others called it free speech. Its ban in multiple states made it one of the most controversial hip-hop singles in history. Released in 1989, Me So Horny was raw, unapologetic, and unlike anything on mainstream radio. 2 Live Crew's sound was loud and bass-heavy, their lyrics explicit yet satirical, a deliberate push against the limits of censorship and taste in American pop culture. When Florida's Broward County declared the album legally obscene, the group's concerts became legal flashpoints. Record stores were raided, and members of the band were arrested. But the controversy elevated them from club performers to cultural lightning rods in a battle over artistic freedom. In the end, Two Live Crew won in court and in history. Their victory set a precedent for music's right to offend, entertain, and exist without apology. Me So Horny proved that in free societies, even the loudest beats deserve to be heard. Number 1. God Save the Queen by Sex Pistols. Though born in 1977, this anthem of punk rebellion remained banned and defiant into the 80s. Outlawed on British radio, it mocked monarchy and conformity. The rage of youth pressed into vinyl forever. Released during Queen Elizabeth's Silver Jubilee, God Save the Queen was everything polite society feared. Loud, sarcastic, and utterly fearless. Johnny Rotten's sneer cut through guitars like barbed wire, turning 3 chords into a cultural grenade that Britain couldn't disarm. BBC Radio refused to play it, and major stores pulled it from shelves. Yet it still reached number 2 on the charts, or number 1, some say, if politics hadn't intervened. Punk had exposed a truth that polite Britain couldn't ignore. Rebellion had a soundtrack now. More than a song, it became a declaration. A reminder that music's greatest power lies in disruption. God Save the Queen didn't ask for permission, it demanded attention. The ban only crowned it immortal. From protest to passion, the 80s gave us songs that refused silence. Every ban and warning label wasn't an ending, it was proof that music still mattered. Behind each controversy stood a generation demanding freedom through sound. These tracks weren't just hits, they were declarations, reminders that rhythm can challenge power as fiercely as words ever could. Music doesn't fade, it transforms. And these banned songs still echo wherever truth needs a voice. If you enjoyed this journey through the rebellious heart of the 80s, like this video and subscribe for more musical memories. Which song from this list still moves you? Let us know below, and keep the music playing.